Alright, we're back. Another overtime episode. I don't know, what was it? Number 8? 8 overtimes we done, maybe?
I don't know. You said the last episode was 27. I'm pretty sure we've done 27 three times now.
No, trust me. I'm up to date on that one. But it's been a while since we did overtime. What was the last overtime we did?
Uh, don't cheat.
Don't cheat?
You
Okay.
remember, yeah.
What? I don't think it was a sequel.
Devil's Rejects?
Maybe it was 3 from Hell.
Yeah, 3
Yeah, because that was the last one.
Alright, I'm on.
We did it,
I'm
guys.
on our website now.
Okay. But anyway.
3 from Hell, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, this week we're watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre number 2 from 1986. More than 12 years in between movies, which, goddamn, that's a big gap. But Tobe Hooper's back for another Texas Chainsaw. Gunnar Hansen is not back to play Leatherface though, so take that.
Yeah, you could tell it was a different guy, right?
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. Just the screams and everything like sounded different. But anyway, it's definitely this movie. It's very split down the middle, where people love it, people hate it. It's definitely not like its predecessor. The other one is sort of like an art house movie, kinda, and is generally held in high caliber amongst horror fans and movie goers and shit. But this one is completely different. It's hard to believe the same guy made and wrote both of them. But anyway, I think it's all right. It's not it's nowhere near as good as the first one, but it is what it is. Chop Top's the reason to watch this movie, but I give it a 6. I think you
Chop
probably
Top not the same guy from the first one?
no.
Because he has the switchblade later and everything.
Yeah,
Not the switchblade, the razor.
yeah,
I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, I watched this movie, I was a little bit tired, and I wasn't in a fun-loving mood.
mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I think if you're at a happy-go-lucky mood, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
One part kind of ruined it for me, but
Okay.
it's worth a watch. I'll give it a 4 or a 5. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, I will say I think it goes way too long. I think it's like an hour and 47 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And it's like the original I think is only like an hour 20 something. So I feel like it really should have been shortened. It drags on after a while, but anyway.
Hey, real quick,
Okay.
how much do pirates pay for corn?
I don't know.
A buccaneer.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
I read that and I went, heh.
Yeah.
So I had to share. Sorry.
Real
Sorry
quick.
everyone who leaves that in.
Yeah, real quick before we get into it, I was watching a kill count earlier. I don't remember what movie. It's for Sleepaway Camp, I think. And this girl said, was talking to this guy, and she was like, "Good night." And the guy went, "Good night." And then the dude had the clip, Chop Top, going, "Good night." And he was like, "Chop Top, what are you doing here?" And it was pretty funny. But anyway, so hey, spoiler warning for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Gonna ruin everything about it. So, here we go. Begin.
All right.
All right.
Apparently, this movie came out when they very first invented car phones.
Car phones, yeah.
And the Sawyer family, since the last time you've seen them,
Yeah.
gotten rich.
Rich, yeah. Which
Just tons of money.
they never do. They ever the fucking what's his face? Drayton Sawyer, the older guy. He keeps entering into these chili contests and winning, but I can't imagine he's winning that much money off of those things. But every time he's like, "I got a real keen eye for meat," and
Prime meat.
yeah, and then the girl next to him finds a fingernail or a tooth or something, and he's like, "Ah, don't mind that," takes it away from her.
It's he's apparently a caterer, so they're doing catering.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Also, they moved to like a amusement park or something, like a
yeah,
abandoned
like that's what I'm
amusement
saying.
park.
So rich, Battles of Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, what? So
But yeah, this movie literally starts off with a car telephone. Just
yeah,
them guys calling
and that
into
kid's fucking glasses. Oh my god.
you know, they're like the eyes. I don't even yeah, they were
It's
weird.
like a hologram of eyes on the outside of his
Yeah.
glasses. And he was like, I want to see titties. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
And he's like
It's,
he's shooting out of the back the car and stuff, shooting the
yeah,
signs.
it's 70s humor. Did we do spoiling warning already?
Yeah, yeah, spoiler. We're in a deep.
We're deep.
Yeah.
So, like, it's,
Playing chicken with cars, which then the one they decide to play chicken with ends up being Leatherface in them.
all right, the worst part of this movie
Okay.
is there's a point where Leatherface has his chainsaw like it's his penis.
Is this your the worst part of the movie? For you?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
He's sitting there and he's getting ready to kill her,
Yeah.
and then he starts like hip thrusting with his chainsaw. Like, yeah, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Well, this was after
I
he
was-
like ran the whole thing up her leg and then like
Yeah.
put it on her crotch, and she was like, "Oh, you're real good." And he, ooh, ooh, ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, you're not alone. Even the guy who plays Leatherface was like, when we were doing the scene, I was like, this is something.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, Leatherface gets himself a little girlfriend in this movie. I think it was a very one-sided girlfriend, but
I don't think it was,
oh yeah,
because we're gonna fast forward to the very end,
very in.
and I'm talking like right before the credits.
Uh-huh.
She's doing the Leatherface dance. With
Does
the
do the
chainsaw.
Leatherface dance? Yeah.
And I was like, maybe she did like him. So
Yeah. I don't know. I'll save what I was gonna say for a little later on, but
Yeah.
yeah. So they played chicken with them guys on the road, and then Leatherface pops up in the back seat, like wearing the rotting corpse of the hitchhiker from the first one in front of his body, and I was like, okay. Which then later on, so you add the Chop Top and them, not the same person, but the manga, is that right? Or the lore, we'll do that. Is the
manga?
Yeah, the manga. Yeah,
Anyways.
the lore is the Chop Top and the hitchhiker are twin brothers, but Chop Top was in Vietnam during the events of the first one, and so then that's why they look so similar. Funny enough, the reason Bill Moseley got the role as Chop Top anyway is because his friend made, I don't remember what the name of the thing was, but it was like a student like parody movie of Texas Chainsaw, and he played the hitchhiker, and Tobe Hooper liked it enough that he was like, hey, if I ever make a sequel, I'll give you a role. So there you go. That's how he got the role of Chop Top in this movie. But by the way, Maverick said he has yet to see A Quiet Place. I think that's what he's thinking of picking. But shout out to A Quiet Place. But anyway,
I've seen it like 9 times.
I saw it once. There you go.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, and so then Leatherface attacks him on the road, which you get in like the first 10 minutes. You get more gore than you ever saw in the original. We're in prime 80s goredom right now, which the dude like gets sliced in his head and his like scalps comes off and he's like squirting blood and shit. And yeah, and then dude just gets slaughtered. And I was like, oh damn. But yeah, which then the only reason that's in the movie, which doesn't even really, because then later on, what's homie who plays the cop? I can't remember his name for some reason.
What's that?
Homie that plays the cop.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper's in this movie, right before his career blew up again.
I mean, his name's Lefty in the movie.
His name is Lefty in the movie.
Well, that's not his real name. He has like
Yeah, but
a real name, but everyone calls him that.
Yeah, there's a dude named LG in the movie. I'm sure his name isn't really LG, but yeah, later on he wants her to like play the tape because they like called into the radio station. Somehow the phone stayed open the whole time that Leatherface and them were killing him.
well, they didn't hang up, and apparently you can't hang up on the other end. And I'm like,
Yeah,
do they not
apparently
know
that's
how
not a
phones work?
thing. Yeah, just like there you go. But yeah, so then he wants her to play the tape so people know what's going on. And so there you go. She plays the tape. And that's what gets Drayton's like on his way. He's driving like a food truck or whatever. And he's on his way home, and they're like, hey, he gets the call from him. He's like, what? They're playing on the radio. He's like, you kids, you messing everything up for me again.
I told you never to call me here.
Yeah. But Drayton, like, he was super comical in the first one, but this one they like take it to the next stop. Everything's sort of a dark comedy in this movie.
And that's where it went wrong. But
You think?
100%.
Yeah.
You could have some funny parts, but like this was just too over the top.
Hmm. But
in my opinion.
yeah. So then Drayton sends over motherfucking Chop Top to the radio station to I guess they're supposed to kill him, but
Kill him and get the tape.
kill him and get the tape. And this is when you're first introduced to Chop Top, which
Have we talked about Stretch at all? The girl who's doing all this?
No. Stretch one. Oh yeah, yeah. Stretch is the main girl, which her whole thing is she wants to be a real reporter, so she thinks by helping Dennis Hopper out that then she could get one step closer to all that and everything. But
I
yeah,
have no clue what's up with her buddy though.
LG.
Yeah, like
I don't know. It was a weird thing because he kept calling her darling, and the first time she's like, "Don't call me darling," and then he calls her darling every time after that, and she never says anything again. And yeah, and then later on, we'll say what happens later on. But yeah, LG, he's around. But yeah, Chop Top gets introduced, and Chop Top, he just has too many lines to talk about them all. Like this whole movie is just Chop Top dropping one-liners. Where my personal favorite, obviously, is the dog will hunt. Just because Primus used it in their number one hit. Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. That song was not a number one hit, I don't think. But
dog will hunt. Get that bitch, Leatherface. Get that bitch. Dog will hunt.
I think they have a number one hit.
maybe Wyomer's Big Brown Beaver. I know that won a Grammy, but
Yeah, but Grammys hits don't win Grammys.
yeah, ain't that the truth?
Maybe their remaster if everyone went down to Georgia.
That fucking song sucks.
That's classic.
I hate it. Yeah. Anyway, which Chop Top's just fucking all over this thing. He's the music is my life. and the whole thing is just him being fucking weird. Which it does lead in because he makes her give him a tour of the radio station because he's never been in a radio station before. And in the middle of that, she's like, "I hear something from the closet." And Chop Top's like, "What?" And then Leatherface legitimately gives me like a jump scare just coming out of his closet and like the loudest chainsaw noise, and fucking runs into Chop Top and like hits his plate. And he's like, "Leatherface, you dented my plate."
I go to the VA and get a new plate.
Yeah, I felt bad for. I felt bad for Chop Top, like imagine like just being a plate in your head and like he's scratching it with like this little the coat hanger and getting pieces of scalp and stuff. But there's nothing you can do for that, like like how do you just a plate?
Why
in
is
your
he
head.
lighting the hanger?
I don't know.
To sterilize it to pick at his scab?
Maybe. I don't know, but
Primus had one song, and the highest they ever got was number 9.
Number 9. My Name Is Mud. Was that it?
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
The Beaver got to number 12. So.
The fucking Beaver. But,
Anyways.
yeah.
My name is Mud. Anyways, it's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Yeah. Yeah, but this movie, yeah, it would like there's a part where then LG comes in, which leads into Chop Chop being like, "Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick." Like, just
What the shit? Hey, lick my plate, you dog dick. What the fuck you think you're doing in here, you crazy looking little son of a bitch? Get out of here!
yeah. And then Chop
He
Top,
gives him a finger.
yeah, the whole time he's like, yeah. And then like Chop Top bashes in homie's head, like for
19
like
times.
19, like hammer, yeah, like just crazy. And then later on in the movie, spoiler, then the Leatherface like skins his face off. But anyway, yeah, Leatherface cuts the dude's face off and Stretch is like over in the corner seeing it the whole time. And then Leatherface like sees her, and then Drayton and them are calling, and he like puts the face on her face to like hide her. And I was like, oh, Leatherface. And,
It works for me.
yeah, and then homie gets up. The LG's alive, like after being skin, and like his head doesn't look damaged at all. He's just missing his skin. And the only reason that's in the movie is just so there's a reason to cut Stretch loose. Because then he, like, cuts her loose and immediately he's like, ah, shit, and dies or whatever.
So where's my hat?
Where's, yeah.
He doesn't say that. But
No. Which then Stretch is like, I love you. And I was like, is she just saying that as, like, a friend? Or, like, because clearly LG was, like, trying to get with her the whole movie. But I was like, was there some romantic thing going? But you didn't show your love a whole lot. Like,
let's be honest here. Stretch was like an 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 during the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
LG was lucky if he was like a 3.
Whoa, man. Don't do LG like that.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, oof.
Listen.
That girl I really liked her in this whole film.
Uh-huh.
Until, like, up to this next part you're about to get to.
Which
like,
part was
I thought
that?
she was really good until the dinner scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dinner scene, because they redo the dinner scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, what did she even do during the dinner? You're a little fresher.
The same thing that the first girl does in the first movie.
Just screaming?
At the dinner. She just screams the whole time.
Hmm.
And we didn't like it then. Don't like it now. Like, she's decent because she's always like fighting and running and she actually she befriends Leatherface. That's how she gets away with all.
She does, yeah. She totally like seduces Leatherface into helping her out.
And yeah, so it's something. Like, she's actually like working to stay alive.
Yeah. Which I didn't talk about before though, but before that scene with him and the chainsaw with the girl, he like comes busting in the room like Kool-Aid Man style through the wall. He's like, whoa!
Very Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. But once again, Hills Have Eyes just taking everything from. But by the way, you remember how we talked about in the first Texas Chainsaw how the hitchhiker, we were like, he has a name, but I couldn't. And then later I was like, oh, his name's Nubbins or whatever. Apparently, this is the movie that gave him the name Nubbins. Where at the end, when Drayton's like, hey, come here, Nubbins, and he pulls his body over when he's hiding under the chair and gets the grenade or whatever. That's where he gets his name from. So it wasn't like somewhere we missed it in the first one. He just didn't get it for 12 years or whatever. But, so, shout out to Nubbins. Yeah. But yeah, the dinner scene. How do you like the grandpa in this movie?
He was alright. It seemed like he came to life during the scene.
He gave me a legitimate belly laugh when first the grandpas are very different in between the two movies. Where the other grandpa, you can barely even tell he's alive until, they're kinda, you can tell or whatever. But this grandpa, like, he's moving around. He stands up at one point, and Leatherface and Lefty or whatever are fighting on the table, and you see the grandpa in the background with the hammer. He was like, and he throws it, but completely like whiffs and hits Leatherface in the head, and Leatherface is like, ah, and then like the grandpa falls over. I laughed so hard. I thought that was so good. But yeah, grandpa is way more lively in this movie. Well,
it's his liquid diet.
It's liquid diet, yeah.
Keeps him spry. for a 138-year-old.
Yeah.
So.
Which, also Lefty in this movie. So the big thing, fucking Dennis Hopper keeps walking around, and he keeps trying to, find Leatherface in them, and you never really know why. And then when he's looking around the amusement park, he finds the body, the like skeleton in the wheelchair of a homie from the first one. What was his name?
I don't even know. I didn't know. I didn't understand that because I was like, who do they leave alive?
Oh, yeah? Who was that? Let me see. I know I must have wrote it down here.
He's from Texas Chainsaw 1?
Yeah, he's the wheelchair guy.
Tommy.
That's not it.
Yeah, because
Was
we
it?
were making fun of him because it's you.
His name's Frank.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
Tommy.
It's Frank.
Whose name was Tommy that we were like, it's
I
you?
don't know.
I know what it was.
Who's
It was
that?
the autistic kid in that Bermuda Triangle movie.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys bullies. But anyway, yeah, he finds Frank. Which, by the way, he confused me for a minute. Because he goes, brother. And, it's Frank's body or whatever. And I was like, oh, he must be Frank's brother. But then, like, if you look it up, it's like, no, he's the uncle to Frank and Sally, the main girl or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's not brothers, apparently. He's an uncle.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This movie takes place in a different part of Texas.
Yeah.
Like far away. So, didn't Frank get fucking chopped in the middle of the woods?
Yeah.
8 hours away? They importing bodies now?
Yeah, they gotta bring their trophies with them. Well, they have that one wall just filled with blood and guts, apparently.
It's just weird.
That was weird. I was like, what?
They do like karate kicks it and it just comes spilling out.
Yeah,
And I
spilling
was
out.
Like, this is crazy. I didn't know that was Frank. That's weird.
Shout out Frank. Yeah, that's
I just thought it was a dude in a wheelchair.
No.
Like, not that he used it. They just put him.
No, that's homies. That's his reason for wanting to find Leatherface in them so bad. Is because they killed his nephew or whatever. Which I think, maybe it's not, but I think his rib cage is all messed up too from where Leatherface, like, zapped him. Sapped him?
Dennis Hopper's like on a mission from God, and he's like quoting scripture and stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird.
He goes to buy some chainsaws at one point, and it reminded me of the scene in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where Tuco goes to like buy his pistol. And he's just like not saying anything. He's making his pistols and stuff. And Dennis Hopper just in this movie is just flinging these things around. Which then I can't tell if the shopkeep is into it or not until he buys them. And then dude's got like a tree out there where you can test it. And Dennis Hopper is like, and like doing that. And the shopkeep is like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like clapping and jumping up and down.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
It was weird.
Yeah.
So, why did this guy pack all these chainsaws when Stretch lived above a gun store?
Yeah, why didn't you just bring a gun?
Yeah, this dude this is in like, what, late 80s, right?
Uh-huh.
This dude went in to this chainsaw store and put $600 down.
Yeah.
Like, it was 6 $100 bills, and he spreads it out. And he just grabs 3 chainsaws and walks out. And I'm like, he could have done the same thing at the gun store and grabbed like 7 guns.
Yeah.
Just shot everybody.
Yeah, rolled in blasting.
Yeah, like, it would have made a lot more sense.
He goes in with them chainsaws and he like chainsaws Drayton's butt. And Drayton like goes under the table and then Drayton's like, you got me good on that one. And Drayton assumes that he's like dead off of that. And I was like, I feel like you could live from that, Drayton. Like your butt's chewed up, but
Yeah, he gets his ace in the hole or whatever.
Yeah, which is just a grenade. Which I don't. And before this, by the fucking Leatherface had just gotten a chainsaw through the stomach, out the back and stuff, and he's like, getting cut up. But then he pulls out the ace in the hole, which is just a grenade. But then you don't like, you get a shot of Chop Top chasing after Stretch up the stairs, and then you see the explosion behind her. And, like, that's supposed to be the death of Drayton, Leatherface, and Grandpa, and the guy. And it's like, oh, I don't feel like they did justice to showing those characters dying. Like, you get what happened, but it's like, oh.
Dennis Hopper ever beat Leatherface in a chainsaw battle when Leatherface is the chainsaw guy?
The chainsaw guy. Yeah.
So, like, I hated that.
Yeah,
I guess
that one.
he didn't beat him because Grandpa knocked him the fuck out.
But he was definitely on his way to beating them.
And, I mean, Leatherface had a chainsaw through him
Yeah.
at this point. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the parts in this movie where I was like, yeah, when he beat Leatherface, I was like, oh. And then, you're always, whenever you're watching a slasher, you're sort of rooting for the killer. And in this case, this whole movie, Leatherface has just gone around like as this bumbling idiot in love with this Stretch, and like helping her out. And you had the scene earlier where then they find her, and Chop Top's like, Bubba's got a girlfriend. They call him Bubba a lot in this movie.
Yeah, they call him Bubba a lot.
Yeah. And then you get the great Drayton Sawyer where he's like, it's sex or the saw. And he's like, sex, SEEX. He's like, yeah, and like, all this stuff. Yeah, and so Leatherface has just been, a bumbling idiot this whole time. Like the biggest sweetheart ever, besides, cutting the guy's face off. And then he gets, so the whole time against Dennis Hopper, I'm rooting for Leatherface. I'm like, yeah, come on. And then he gets killed, and I was like, oh, man.
Well, let's be fair. Dennis Hopper used Stretch as bait.
He did.
To lure out. So, like, Dennis Hopper isn't, like, without sin.
No.
This, so, I don't know. It's, like you said, the line between who you're rooting for and who you want, is very slim.
Yeah.
But.
Which also, there's a Chop Top and Sally, or not Sally, goddamn, Stretch, run all the way up to the top of this hill where the grandma's chilling out. Which the grandma has always been a weird character to me in Texas Chainsaw, because she's in the first one, but she's just like chilling out in the attic with Grandpa, and you're like, oh, she's dead. But then she's here again, and then there's the part because she's got a chainsaw in her hands. And Stretch like rips it out and breaks her fingers. And Chop Top's like, no, leave her alone. You're going to kill her and stuff. And I swear it looks like the grandma's moving her head. And I was like, is she alive? Like, and yeah, the grandma has always been a weird character to me. Where like they don't ever mention her all that much, but she's around. And then apparently she got, according to Chop Top, that Stretch killed her. But yeah. And then Chop Top gets... And Chop Top,
he does have some really good lines.
He's got some great lines in this movie. Which Namland, Namland.
Half the time he's running around talking about Nam and stuff.
Yeah, Napalm. yeah, he's
so
great.
Like, he's pretty solid. In it.
And like you would think you get tired of him a little bit because he's running his mouth the whole movie. Like, even when Drayton's, like, yelling at the girl, he's there next to him, like jumping around and stuff. With Nubbins, yeah. He starts carrying around Nubbins, like, with him the whole time, which I thought was good. Yeah, and he gets, like, chainsawed in the chest and kicked off the hill, and he goes bouncing into a tunnel. Which I won't say he's dead, but he never comes back, and he's never in any more movies, so... Well, then there was that movie that they were supposed to make that never saw the light of day.
Called Chop Top, yeah.
Called Chop Top, but I think it was supposed to be a prequel. So, but yeah, so that's the end of Chop Top's, time in this movie.
Which is good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like they made them so likable in this movie that I didn't want any of them to die, really.
You wrecked my Bono wig. You gotta get me a new head.
Yeah. And then he like picks up LG's hat. He only wore it for like that one scene. I wish he would have wore it some more.
It reminds me of the guy from Nightbreed.
Yeah, but I like Chop Top
dude.
a lot more. Yeah.
He like rips off his. I think he rips off his skull too, right, or his head.
Yeah. He cuts his face off.
Yeah.
And his face is gone. Yeah. It was weird, though. Yeah. It was weird, because I always knew Bill Moseley as Chop Top still. But then we've watched 3 movies as him as Otis. So then I can still hear Otis creeping through, and so it was like, yeah, it was weird watching it where it was Otis, but it wasn't. By the way, Jim Sedow played Drayton. Is the only actor in this movie who was in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. None of the other ones showed up for it.
Grandpa
Well,
wasn't the same guy?
no, Grandpa's not the same guy. Different guy. The guy who played Grandpa in the first one shows back up in, I think, Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is that one with the girl who moves in and it's like her family or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, Bill Moseley plays Drayton Sawyer in that movie. So, but Tom Savini, by the way, legendary makeup effects artist, does like every movie, stated that the makeup effect that he created for Grandpa is his most proud accomplishment. There you go. He was a big fan of that thing.
I mean, the rubber hammer full of blood
Yeah.
that would shoot out every time he hit that was
Yeah.
pretty fucking cheap looking. The bullshit razor blade that was just pretty much a red marker that Chop Top uses on his own neck.
He does. He's like, cuts his own neck. He's like, look at that, bitch. It's like,
Yeah, he said I look like dog shit on a cracker or something.
yeah.
Something weird like that. But like, there were some effects in this that are really good. And then you just take one look at Leatherface's face, and you're like, well, they probably should have spent a little more time on that.
Yeah.
So,
Final film of Jim Sedow, by the way.
is that the guy who played Leatherface?
Drayton.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way. And there should be no...
That
What?
who like played a bunch of westerns.
Yeah. I'm probably... and there should be no surprise, by the way. But Bill Moseley has said that his favorite role to do is Chop Top. So...
Now, is it, or is it just because it's so iconic?
No, I imagine it must have been because he is a super big Texas Chainsaw nerd. Like it's one of his favorite movies or whatever. And I think this was the movie, or maybe it was no, it was Three from Hell. They like had him shaved bald or whatever. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, he was super excited to do this one. Likes it. It probably is his most famous role though. Because I guess Otis would be a second.
No, man. Those movies have got to be more popular than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I don't think so. Maybe.
To be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because they made 3 of them.
They did make 3 of them.
I mean, they made a lot of Texas Chainsaw, but Chop Top's in one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like...
By the way, Dennis Hopper said this was the worst movie he's ever made. He then later changed it after he did Super Mario Bros. So, just shout out to that. But goddamn, a fucking bird flew by my window and scared the shit out of me.
In your window.
Yeah, by my window.
I'll buy
By the
it.
way, you like that? There was that scene of Grandpa where they have the ladle that's been like soaked in the blood, and I think what do they give him to Grandpa and they want him to like hit her with the ladle to start with, but he just like looks at it and he's like, and just starts licking like the blood off of it.
There's another weird part where he's licking Homeboy's hanger too.
The hanger, yeah, he's getting some scalp.
Tonguing it, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, this movie, like, they're gross. They're a gross family. Also, the cover of this movie, if you've seen it, it's just a parody on the Breakfast Club cover. They're in the exact same position as all the characters of the Breakfast Club. So. And then last thing, budget. Movie had a budget of $4.7 million.
good lord.
Made a box office of $8 million. There you go.
That's not much money. I think the first one was like...
I think the first one was
Really
only 700 grand or something.
Yeah, well, the make, it was real cheap.
Yeah, and they made a shit ton. But yeah, the movie definitely didn't do as good at the box office. But I'm just looking through to see if there's any other gems we missed.
I'm trying to think. Like I said, I just watched it.
Yeah.
Talking about the two douchebags in the fancy car. I guess it
Yeah.
was a Beamer or something.
We didn't talk about after the scene with the sex of the Saw or whatever. They want Leatherface to like bring her up to kill her, and Leatherface is like, he grabs the lamp and he's like, like, yeah. Leatherface, I'll give him this. Leatherface's whole movie, no matter how many times they want him to kill Stretch, he never like caves in. He starts to at one point where he goes over and like gives her a kiss, and then it's like, you know, about to. But then that's when Dennis Hopper starts like singing in the pipes or whatever. Which was he singing Camptown Lady? What was he saying?
No, it's the lambs to the slaughter or something.
Yeah, he was singing it and everyone's like freaked out, and then Chop Top starts singing along with him. Like, yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. This definitely movie way different than the first one.
The first one is very believable and whatever. The second one isn't.
Uh-huh.
Like, the chances that these chainsaw wielding cannibals would be able to buy a rundown amusement park, kill a bunch of people, serve them in chili, and no one would ask any questions. Like, it's just way too, you know. But I don't know. Like I said, the first one's will always be like by far the bar that all other films are judged on by me. The second one is nowhere near that. Like, it's in that vein of like Evil Dead and stuff, to where it's not a horror film, it's a comedy with horror aspects, right?
Like the first Evil Dead movie is a horror movie. And then
but
from then on out, until they make the remake in like 2011 or whatever, it's just pure like comedy, like gore stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I Leatherface, I've seen the struggle. Like, I don't think his movies after the first one, and I'm a fan of the second one. Like I said, it's not anywhere near as good as the first one, but I enjoy it. But from here on out, I think they take a little bit of a dive. I remember watching the third one. It was boring as fuck, I remember.
we'll probably watch all of them though eventually.
And we'll get to them, yeah, but... And I'm a fan of the remake. But, you know... Well, then, when you say you're a fan of a remake, you gotta be specific, because they made a couple of them. But
yeah, that's what I was about to ask, but I was like, I don't want to get into it. I don't know how to describe it without ruining stuff.
But anyway.
But this one wasn't bad. Like I said, it's Bill Moseley's Chop Top, which is enough just to watch it.
Yeah.
The whole scene with when you first meet Chop Top and he's sitting on the couch in the dark
is great.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way. I don't mean in a bad way.
Hey, we didn't do best of, worst of. Favorite part, worst part. See if I have a specific favorite part. Let me see if I can find one.
So my worst part is anything with the dad.
Drayton?
I
didn't think Drayton did that as good as he was in the first one.
Yeah.
Like,
he was just trying to cheese up his original thing.
Yeah, like they told him they were going more comedy, so he like upped it. But in the first one, you know, coming back and being, look at what your brother did to the door is great. Yeah. Great line. And in this movie, he like tried to outdo it.
I'm going to change that.
Okay.
My least favorite part is Leatherface sawing on that metal door.
The metal door, yeah. Yeah, that was something.
I don't know what my favorite part was.
Yeah, no, like I could cheap out and say anything with just fucking, you know.
I'm gonna say my favorite part was Homegirl doing the
dance. Yeah.
Would have been a lot nicer if she would have gotten more bare. You
know? Oh yeah. Oh, also after Chop Top did his plate, that was also when he's like, non-flashback. Like, I'll say my favorite part was the leather popping out of that closet and hitting.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's
It's
fucking nowhere.
yeah, nowhere. It's a good scare. Leads into like a good joke. It's pretty good. My least.
Reminds me of a haunted house.
Yeah. Super
They would
haunted
have,
house
like,
scare.
set up. Yeah, where it would just be like someone popping
Yeah.
out. Might be the original jump scare.
Yeah, yeah.
But
There's a confirmed. I watched a podcast on this. There's some movie from the 30s where it's not even like a horror movie, but there's a tense part of this girl walking down the street, and you're like, oh, something's gonna happen, and then randomly a bus pulls up and it's real loud, and that's supposed to be the first confirmed jump scare in a movie. There's some, yeah, but my least favorite part has to be Chop Top hammering dude's head for 2 minutes, and then him not even being dead.
he keeps saying go to sleep or something.
Yeah, and go to sleep. Go like, yeah.
Keep saying, yeah, and I was like, oh, this is.
Yeah, that was the only part where I was like, all right, you're overdoing the Chop Top. Is when he was hammering that dude's head. And then to have that dude wake up again and come back.
He has like a small hammer, like a little ball peen hammer.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, they always, in the first one, the one thing you know is that you never get him with the first one.
Never get him with the first one.
Sometimes it takes more than one.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time. This dude had 15 tries.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Pleek's here.
Yo,
Yo. We're wrapping up.
I'm ready for the cast.
Oh, yeah? You're ready? You ready to do it? Yeah.
Nah, I just saw you guys were in the channel. I just wanted to say what up.
So,
You're doing the cast right now? The end of it?
We're finished in Texas Chainsaw 2.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Just, you two did back-to-back casts?
We did. I mean, no, these are different
No
days.
Mavi? Oh, shit. Cut that out.
Yeah.
Shit. What's up, Boney?
Same old. Wait, don't you have a input on Texas Chainsaw 2? Didn't you say it was the worst one and you'd never watch it in a million years?
He's not a fan of it.
I personally didn't care for that one. That's the one at the radio station?
The
Yeah.
radio station. Anyway.
I just got done shitting on it for like an hour, so not shitting on it,
Yeah,
but
no.
it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, hey, Bags, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Texas Chainsaw 2. This week coming out, maybe A Quiet Place. I don't know, but we'll see. So, we'll see you for whatever comes out Friday. All right.